Hello, my sweet friend. It's Christina, and welcome to a new episode of the Art Cake Coach podcast. Hello, my sweet friend. I am Christina Revalo, cake decorator, coach, and teacher, and I am here to empower my fellow cake artists to be creative and to work together as a tight cake community by providing information and opportunities for all, regardless of their level of expertise and knowledge. If you are a cake artist, cake decorator, baker, or cake enthusiast and want to be coached for success, this podcast is for you. Let me help you set achievable goals, understand that managing your time, having a positive mindset, understanding your customer, selling, using social media for your cake business, and knowing how to teach your craft are all as important as flour, sugar, and eggs. Let me share with you what has worked for me, all from a very personal and down-to-earth perspective. I want for you to put your name out there, not to be stressed with time and working hours, and to participate in cake collaborations and competitions, so one day you will be that cake artist featured in a cake magazine or teaching at international events, just like me. Welcome to the Art Cake Coach podcast. Well, hello, my sweet friends, and welcome to another episode of the Art Cake Coach podcast. Christina here. Happy Tuesday morning here from Lisbon, Portugal. A little bit cloudy today, not as sunny as it has been the last couple days on the weekend, but still beautiful autumn morning here in Portugal, in Lisbon, Portugal. I'm so happy to have you all back here today. Today's episode is kind of the second part of the episode from last week where we talked about social media myths. Remember, this is all connected to social media challenge that we did in Cake Friends Stay Creative and a webinar that I did for you last Friday on the Art Cake Coach podcast, the Art Cake Coach group. It's our Facebook group from the podcast, which is there on Facebook, the Art Cake Coach, if you want to check it out. And in this webinar, we talked again about the myths. We talked about the ideas and the beliefs of social media. And you walk away, if you were part of the webinar, you walk away with a very simple way to plan at least a week or 15 days of social media posting. I'm going to be repeating this webinar this week, tomorrow actually, but in Spanish for my Spanish speaker members of the group. Now today I wanted to explain in more, I'm not going to say more depth because I'm not going to go very deep on this, but I want to explain in the simplest words that I can find and in a way that you can understand it, the algorithm. Because what happens is, especially I've seen this from a lot of people that have no idea what they're doing on social media, and they just repeat what everybody else says, and they just blame the algorithm because the algorithm doesn't show their work. Oh, it's so hard to beat the algorithm. It is hard. I'm going to be honest. I'm being honest in this couple of episodes. It's not easy, but you really have to understand how the algorithm works to decide what to do with it. Like anything else in life, right? If you want to bake a cake, you really have to understand the measurements and the ingredients to the point that you know how they function, how they work, and what happens if you put a little bit more flour or a little bit less of sugar in your recipe. So that's what I want you to do with this information today, to know how much sugar and how much flour you should put in your social media recipe, knowing exactly what the algorithm is. I'm going to try to keep it as simple as possible because for me, I needed to keep it as simple as possible to really understanding. So that is what I got for you today on the Art Cake Coach podcast. Stay tuned. Let's just listen from some of the announcement and some of the sponsors of today's episode, and let's start this. I am absolutely thrilled to announce a new sponsor of the Art Cake Coach podcast. We are now working together with Cake the Great magazine. Cake the Great magazine is a quarterly international magazine, and it's an open platform for all levels of sugar artists around the world. We will showcase your talent, skills, update sugar, world news, and more. You can have the next issue, and you can already have the March issue of 2023 in the links that I will be leaving here in this episode. And stay tuned for the next issue to come. Thank you so much to my sweet dear friend Tasnuta Allen, award-winning cake decorator and editor of this magazine. And thank you to Cake the Great magazine for being one of the sponsors, and welcome to the family of the Art Cake Coach podcast. So let's talk about how the algorithm works. I'm going to read to you the concept that I found about the algorithm. I took this from several online sources, including AI, so you will get a very simple understanding of what this is. I'm going to read next. It's not my words, so you will understand what exactly or how the algorithm works. Social media algorithms are a complex set of rules and processes that determine the content users see on their feeds. Simple as that. The goal of the algorithms is to enhance user experience by showing them content that is likely to be relevant, engaging, and interesting. Each social media platform has its own unique algorithm, but they generally share some common elements. Next, I'm going to give you a brief overview of what those elements are, but I have to tell you one thing. Not only the social media platforms have unique algorithms, but they keep changing constantly. And it all comes to the goal. So I'm going to go back and read what the goal is. The goal of these algorithms is to enhance user experience by showing them content that is likely to be relevant, engaging, and interesting. What happens is we always think that our content is relevant, engaging, and interesting, but maybe not to the algorithm, because the algorithm is not thinking by itself. The algorithm just has these parameters to say, this is what I'm looking for. I want people, when they say, I'm gonna go back a little bit. When they say they want to enhance the user experience, translates to, I just want to keep people scrolling on social media. Why? Because the platforms need to make money, and they make money by making us stay as long as we can on the platform so they can show us ad and we can end up buying stuff. That's it. So it's a business. At the end of the day, it's a business. How do the algorithm decides what contents is relevant, engaging, and interesting? Because like I said before, you can say, wait a minute, my cakes are relevant, engaging, and interesting. Why are they not being shown by the algorithm? Because the algorithm doesn't look at your cakes and says, oh, that looks cute, I'm going to, I'm going to show it. No, the algorithm is going to base its parameters by what everybody else is looking at. So if a lot of people is looking at cats playing piano, that's what they're going to favor. If a lot of people are looking at, I don't know, fails and reels or TikTok or of teenage dancing or grandpas dancing, because they keep scrolling and they laugh at it and they just keep there. That's what the algorithm is going to consider relevant, and that's what is going to show the most. So when you complain, because I've seen this a lot, when you complain, oh, I cannot believe this woman with a miniskirt and her boobs out. Sorry about my language today. And the boobs out and just doing nothing had more views than a beautiful, stunning wedding cake that I create. Because people are probably spending more time looking at this woman than at your cakes. That's how humans work. That's it. So the algorithm is just going to show what it's more seen. That's all. So that comes to our next question. We need to beat the algorithm. Do we need to beat the algorithm, or we actually need to work with it? How do we make our content relevant, engaging, and interesting? There are ways. It's a long shot, but there are ways to do it. First of all, you have to be consistent. You have to keep posting as much as you can, or on the days that you usually post. You have to be consistent for the algorithm to say, oh, okay, this is not like a random post from this person, and it keeps coming back, it keeps coming back. So let's start to put it there somewhere between thousands of images, but let's just start putting it out there. Then if your community engages with you, if your community likes and comment to your post, okay, it's engaging. These people, this content is starting to get some answers and some responses. So okay, I can maybe put it in another bunch of thousands of posts. You start like, you feel like, for me it's like going up one step and another step and another step, because that I can control. I can control how many times I post, and I can control how engaging I can make my post in order for people to engage with it and to react to it, right? How do we do that? There are ways to create posts that are more engaging. First, visually, they have to be engaging, okay? It's not just a picture. It has to have a way to, look at it and say, like, stop scrolling, okay? It has to call the attention first. Second, you have to have a very, let's say, calling first line on your narrative. You have to make people stop scrolling and start reading. Then you tell them what you want to tell them. And at the end, always ask for a call to action. Always ask people to engage with your content. I'm going to give you an example. If I think I gave this example before here in the episode. If I post a picture of a chocolate cake and I just put delicious chocolate cake made by me. You know how many people make chocolate cakes? Everyone makes chocolate cakes, good or bad, but they do. They're like, it's just another chocolate cake. But imagine a picture of a close-up cutting the cake, and maybe it's these lava cakes that the chocolate melts inside from the cake, from the inside out from the cake, and you see this picture, or even a small short video of the chocolate coming out. Okay, I'm gonna stop. My mouth is watering. It's like, okay, I'm gonna stop. And then underneath it, you can put a title like, I hate chocolate, or chocolate is not good for you. Okay, it's like, what? Wait a minute. I have a contradictory image that calls my attention, because the image tells me something, the narrative tells me another thing. Oh, this calls my attention. And then you explain, chocolate is bad for you. It depends on the quality. And I work with the best quality cocoa from this brand, whatever. You explain everything that you do with your chocolate cakes. Like, oh, okay. So it's good, but it's bad. I mean, if it's not a good chocolate cake, it's bad for you. But if it's a good chocolate cake, it's good for you. And at the end, you can ask for a call to action like, what are you a fan of chocolate cakes? If you're a chocolate cake lover, leave me an emoji. Share this post to all your chocolate cake lover friends. I mean, you can keep people engaged, and it's not just a picture of a chocolate cake. That's it. I gave this example before, if you have listened to this episode. So, am I actually beating the algorithm? Am I going viral? Probably not, but I'm moving one step upwards in the scale of post that the algorithm is going to show to the community. When Instagram started, I'm going to give you an example. When Instagram started, it was all about timing. You keep seeing everyone's posts at the time they posted. Like, it was aligned. Like, if I posted first, then another person posted second, and a third person was looking at it, they will see my first, because they follow each other. Okay, so it was very simple. But then it became so big. I mean, how many users does Instagram have? Imagine if I like, only myself, I follow 2,500 people. If I follow 2,500 people, and every time I'm going to scroll, I don't look at 2,500 posts on Instagram every day, so they're going to get lost. It's normal that you don't see everyone's post. It's normal that you don't see what everyone is putting out there. But probably what's happening is that you're looking at the people that you interact with the most. And that happens also on Facebook, and that happens also, I think, on TikTok. I'm not on TikTok, but I think it goes around that. Pinterest, for example, on the other hand, is very curated to the things you like. Like my Pinterest is basically cakes and illustrations and let's say architecture. I like to be inspired by those images. So when I open my feed, that's mainly what I see. But if one day I look for something different on Pinterest, immediately my feed is going to change. And what Pinterest is going to show me are the things related to my last search. And that's the way the algorithm in Pinterest works. So each platform has a different algorithm method, but mainly the final goal of the algorithm is to show people what they are looking for and what they want to see. So what can I do with my post? I have to curate them to the point that they are going to be engaging, interest, and relevant. That's all, okay? I know it sounds like a lot, and you're probably like, Christina, you're not telling me how to beat the algorithm. That's not my idea here. My idea is not tell you how to beat the algorithm. My idea is to tell you how the algorithm works, so now you know what you can do, what you're able to do, what you're willing to do with it. Because beating the algorithm takes a lot of work. And like I said in the previous episode, are you a social media manager? Are you an influencer, or are you a baker? We're all bakers. So we just have to be informed of the tools that we have in order to use them for our benefit in the best way possible. That's it. So how does the algorithm work? And we're going to go back to try to look at every little detail of how this works. Okay. So first of all, I have some news flash for you. The content this algorithm promotes is the content that will keep users engaged on the platform for the longer time. Like I said before, it is not that your content... That's why I always say don't compare yourself with other people. Don't compare yourself with a cat playing the piano, because it's nothing to do with it. People would look at the cat playing the piano because, I don't know, it's funny. That's all. It doesn't have to be that people don't like your cakes. So what does the algorithm uses, or how does it work? User data collection. Social media platforms collect vast amounts of data about their users, and that is true, and we have to cope with it. There are rules and regulations not about this, but that's what happens. So if you're thinking that social media doesn't know that you exist, or the platforms doesn't know that you exist, they do know you exist, and they do know your likes, your dislikes, what are you like. They probably have a whole profile on you, and that is part of being on social media. These include demographic information, location data, user interests, and engagement history, like what post users likes, what post users shares, and what comments do they make. That's one of the things that platforms collect as an asset, and we're part of it. And that's one of the things that the algorithm uses on their benefit. Then the algorithm ranks content. Algorithm uses this collection of data to rank and prioritize content. They assess the relevance of each piece of content to a specific user base on their past interactions and preferences. So, like I mentioned before, if I have a Pinterest account and I keep looking for a week for, let's say, wedding dresses, and I stop using the platform for another week, when I open the platform again, the first thing that I'm going to see on my feed are wedding dresses, because that's what the platform assumed I was going to look for, because that's based on my last research. That's how they rank what users want to see. So I'm going to tell you a secret. This is what I do. I have actually 4 Instagram accounts, and I'm going to explain why. I have my own personal Instagram account that is for me, for my family, to show, I have a lot of family who lives abroad, and we can keep communicating. They can see our family and my kids growing up through pictures. That's it. That's all I use it for, just to communicate with family. It's my personal account. Then I have Christina, the Art Cake Experience account. That's for the cakes. Everything related with cakes. Then I have the Art Cake Coach account, that is everything related to the podcast and the coaching business. And then I have Cake Friends Stay Creative account, that is an account that I created for the group Cake Friends Stay Creative. In the cake account, the Art Cake Experience, and in the coaching account, the Art Cake Coach, The only thing I look at, and I stop and I engage are cakes and coaching. So when I open my account, the only thing I see is cakes and coaching. I don't see politics. I don't see people's kids. I don't see, I don't know what else, cars. I don't see anything else but cakes in one account and coaching tips in the other account, because I curated it to the points that that's the only thing I'm looking for. That's the only thing I see. So that's the only thing it's going to show me. What happens is I get informed about everything that is happening in the cake world and everything that is happening in the coaching world, because that's what I'm looking at. So the algorithm is showing my preferences, of course. But the good thing is I'm also in the pack of the coaching. So probably the algorithm is showing to them my account as well, because I'm in the same rank. So it's pretty much it. So, my sweet friends, let's just keep talking about. Well, I hope I'm not boring you today, but I really wanted you to go out or to walk away with a very general, like a general but more specific idea of what the algorithm is and how it works. So, let's continue with an overview of how social media algorithm works. Machine learning and predictive modeling. So, social media algorithms utilize machines learning and predictive modeling. They analyze the patterns and user behavior to predict what content a user is likely to engage with in the future. Like I mentioned before, if you keep looking at cakes, it's going to predict that this person is going to keep liking pictures of cakes. So, I'm going to keep sending pictures of cakes to this person's feed. Algorithms consider various engagement metrics such as likes, contents, shares, and likes to determine the popularity and relevance of a post. Remember what I said before, we need to make our content relevant, engaging, and interesting. So if you have more likes, more comments, and more shares, of course your content is going to be more relevant. But the content that you're going to see also has to do with the content that has more likes, comments, and shares. That's something we can focus on if you have a plan on growing your social media platform or your social media following. Is to try to make the content as engaging as possible so people will actually comment, like, and share, and the algorithm will show it more. Also, the freshness of the content is a factor. Newer posts may be giving higher priority. Another thing are the user interactions. Algorithms take into account the relationship between users. For example, if two users frequently interact with each other, what happened? The algorithm might prioritize to show their posts to each other. Doesn't that happen when you're, I don't know, social media is like, it's like having friends outside of social media. Sometimes you talk to them a lot. Sometimes you spend some time apart and you don't talk to each other as much. So what happens is they stop looking at their contents. You think, oh, this people is very quiet. And then when you go to their feed, you realize there's a lot of things that you didn't see. It's because we don't have that conversation anymore so often on social media, so their posts are left behind. Maybe they're not as relevant, so the algorithm think that I'm not interested on their post. But sometimes just by keeping the conversation going. So if you like a platform, if you like not a platform, if you like an account and you want to be noticed by that account, engage. Talk to them. Keep the conversation going. If they answer back, keep the conversation going, because that way your content is going to be seen by them and their content is going to be seen by you. What else we have? Users interaction. I already told you about the users interactions, and the format. That's another thing. Different types of contents like photos, videos, links, text posts may be treated in a different way based on the preference of engagement. Algorithm may favor certain contents formats over others. We know that this year reels were a big deal. Algorithm definitely was favoring on Instagram. I'm talking about Instagram, definitely was favoring reels over posts. So everybody started to make reels. So there was a point actually where I missed pictures because it was just a reel after reel, and I was still on my feet. I wasn't even looking just as reels at reels, and that's the only thing I saw. Video format usually tends to convert a little bit more, also because it's more engaging. It's moving. It's a moving image. You have dialogues. You have subtitles. You have or captions. You have music. So the more things you add is going to be more engaging. Think of you as a user. What is the thing that stops you from scrolling? And that's the thing that you should consider when making your own post. Um, the also the personalization, I think I already talked about. Now, personalization, the social media algorithm aim is to create personalized experiences for each user. They consider individual preferences like interest and behavior to tailor the content shown in the user's feed. I mentioned this before. You're going to see what you're looking for or where you're looking at the most. Algorithms also have an adaptive nature. Algorithms are dynamic and can adapt to changes in users' behavior. If users' preferences evolve, the algorithm will adjust to reflect those changes. Like I mentioned before, for example, with a wedding dress, I don't look at wedding dresses in my Pinterest account, but if I look for one, they're going to start, or one or more, they're going to start to show on my feed because the algorithm assumed there was a change in the dynamic of what I was looking for. Now, another thing are algorithm updates. The specific of how each algorithm work may not be fully disclosure to the public by the platforms. They are safeguarded by the platforms because that is their business. That is the tool of how they make money. Additionally, the constant evolution of algorithm means that what works today may not work effectively tomorrow. And that requires users and content creators to stay informed about updates and changes constantly. So, this is my whole point with this. I wanted to tell you what the algorithm is. I wanted to explain what the algorithm expects. I wanted for you to know what really is the algorithm. The algorithm is not something that it's against you. The algorithm is just going to follow patterns, and if you are not aligned, if your work or your content is not aligned with those patterns, it's not going to be shown. That's it. So honestly, unless your sole goal is to beat the algorithm and become the next social media content manager that cracks the internet, this is too much for you, honestly. But as we are bakers, we are cake artists and cake decorators trying to use social media for the advantage of our business, we need to face the social media monster in a different way. Let's just play with the algorithm instead of fighting it. That's it. We know how it works. It's like when you're scared of something because you don't know what it's like. Do you remember the first time you were on a plane? Maybe you were anxious and scared because you didn't know what it was like, or on a roller coaster, or I don't know, maybe a scary movie. You watch it for the first time, you don't know what's going to happen. You watch it the next time and it's not going to be that scary. That's what I'm trying to do here. We know now what to expect. We know how it works. So now we have to decide how to just play with it and work with it instead of fighting it. Because again, my sole question for you is, are you a social media manager, social media influencer, or I don't know, the next social media content manager star? Or are you a baker, a cake decorator, or a cake artist? Who are you? So depending on that, that is how we are going to work with the algorithm. So to finish, my sweet friends, I have here a few, I don't know, we can call it tips. We can call it bullet points that we can take away from these last two episodes, especially on how we can adapt all of this information to our social media life as cake artist, to a social media exposure as cake artist, and to use social media actually as a window for our cake business. So, first of all, use what platform give you as much as you can. Let me explain to you. Use the platform. You don't have, okay, I'm going to do the second one first so you get it. It's okay not to be in all platforms at the same time. So choose the one that actually works for you. That's what I meant. Choose the one where your followers are. Choose the platform that is easier for you to maneuver. Do not go crazy trying to go into other platforms that you don't know how it works. You don't know about the algorithm on that platform. You don't know how to create posts on that platform. You don't know anything. Um, it's okay. You can tell your client when they ask you, are you on social media? Yes, I'm just on Instagram. Here's my ad, this whatever cake, this is me. That's it. And it's fine. You don't have to be in all the platforms. Um, if you feel the need in the future to be in more platforms, because maybe there start to be an audience on Facebook, there start to be an audience on Pinterest, okay, then move on. But if you're not sure of what you're doing, just focus on one platform. Follow trends. Like I mentioned before, reels are a big deal. So if you don't know how to make a reel, there are thousands of videos online on YouTube that explain how you can make very simple reels. There are templates that you can use. Just get comfortable with one or two templates or one or two ways to create reels. Create a couple of reels a week because it's a trend. You want to learn how to do it, and then you do it and you try it out. You see how it plays, but do not get caught on the game. Okay, remember, you are a cake artist, not a social media influencer. If you're not there in the platform, if you're not there with the trend, you're not missing out. You're just not there. Simple as that. You're not missing out. You're not left behind. Just own it. Everything is about owning it. It's like, I'm just on Instagram and I just do post. And you're going to tell that algorithm that your posts are so good, are so engaging, that's going to keep showing it. Okay? So it's okay. You're not missing out. Be where your audience is. Of course, plan and be consistent. If you're consistent on your post, the algorithm is going to start to favor you, and plan your content ahead. Do not come to a moment where it's like, okay, I have like 20 minutes left. Just grab your phone. It's like, what am I going to post? Let me see. I think I have a picture here. What do I say about this picture? You know what's going to happen with that post? Nothing. It's just going to be another random post on the universe of social media. That's it. So, but if you plan, what are you going to post? When are you going to post it? What are you going to say in that post? What is your post going to look like? If it's a reel, if it's a video, if it's a picture, if it's a carousel, all of that, believe me, you're going to start to see changes on your social media. Like I mentioned in the first episode, have a clear and an achievable goal. Achievable is the key. Do not go crazy on your goals. It's better to have shorter goals that you can actually achieve and have that feeling that, yeah, I did it. I mastered this. Then move on to the next goal. Then go crazy with the goal that because we are cake artists, not social media influencers, it's hard to achieve. Be okay with the fact that you won't go viral, that you won't be an online sensation or an influencer, and focus on what matters, your business. To sell the quality products that you sell to your community and your following. That's what you should focus on. Unless you, like I said, unless you want to be a social media influencer. But I don't think that's the case for us here. I do not want to do that. I want to create a very good product, either if it's my cakes or either if it is my classes or either if it is my coaching programs for you to buy them. That's it. I don't want to be a sensation online. That's not what I'm here for. So be okay with the fact that maybe you won't go viral, and it's okay because you're going to serve the community that you have. Going viral and having millions of followers won't guarantee success. And then I'm going to give you another clue, another tip. Actually, I saw a documentary about this. It's on Netflix. I don't remember. I think it's on Netflix or on HBO. I don't remember the name, but it was like the fake influencers. So they actually curated people to be influencers, but they were not, just to prove that social media can be a facade. And what happened is, when these people who knew they were doing an experiment, they knew they were not actually a big deal, but it got to their heads. They went from nothing to, to being influencers, you know what was hard for them? Keep it up. Keep up with being on the top. Because you can go viral once, but keep going viral, it's hard to keep up. It's a full-time job. Again, what are we? Cake artists and cake decorators or social media influencers? Social media, remember, is a window, is a presentation card for your business. It's not your business, unless it is, but it's not. In our case, it's not our business. Our business is cakes, cookies, teaching, coaching, all of that for the cake, for cake artists, for the cake world, for clients. That's what we are. If you don't know how to work with social media, if this is too overwhelming for you, if this is something that doesn't matter how much I help you, doesn't matter how much you read, it's still something you cannot crack, ask for help. There are thousands of social media content creators, managers, agencies. I don't know, probably your younger nephew will know more about this than you. So ask for help. Ask for help if you don't know. It's okay to ask for help. If you can afford to pay somebody to manage your social media, awesome. That will be like the best, If you can't, just try to figure it out. And if not, just ask for help to try to figure it out. For me, my case, I can only help you with managing your content. That's what I do. That's what I'm focused on. I'm focusing on planning because that's me. I'm the planning person. I'm focusing on planning and on managing content. I do not have the secret of success on social media. I do not have the secret of how to beat the algorithm. I am not going to make you the next big sensation on social media. That's not my job. My job is to teach you all of these things so you will have the tools to decide what to do with social media. And my job is to help you organize and manage your content so you will know what to post, when to post, and what to say. That's all. That's what I do. And if you have any further questions, if you want a little bit of help with this specific thing, the managing of your content, remember I'm here and you can always book a free discovery call with me to discuss what your needs are and to see if we are a good fit and we can work together and solve your problem. As your cake coach, I am here to help you. If you want to go a little bit further in your journey to organize your time, set clear goals, maybe teach, work on your mindset, or set a roadmap for results, especially for results and success, I am here for you. Why don't you book a free discovery call with me? I will be leaving the links here in this episode so we can chat, we can talk about what you really need, and we can see if we're a good fit for each other. Remember, I have just one mission in this cake world. First is to unite the cake community as one and to make you, my cake artist, my sweet friend, understand the importance of investing in you. Like I said, I will be leaving the links here in the description of this episode so you can book a 30 minutes free discovery call with me. And just remember, in case nobody said this to you today, I do appreciate you and I want you to stay safe and stay creative. So my friends, as a conclusion of these past 2 episodes, there are a lot of myths around social media. There are a lot of beliefs, limiting beliefs, I would say, we have as cake artists about social media. From it's a time waster, everybody should have the perfect life on social media but me, or the perfect cake business but me. This is just for young people. If I have more followers, I will be happier. Or if I have more followers, I will have more clients. Or this is only for narcissist. It's a lonely place to be. I need to be in all the platforms and I'm so stressed about this because I can't. This is for socializing and I don't have time for socializing. All of these myths, all of the things we talk about in the last episode, the previous episode as well. I hope these 2 episodes help you focus on what we really need to focus as cake artists. It's our business and this is just a tool to show what we do. That's it. We know a little bit more about the algorithm. We know how it works. We know what favors, what doesn't favor. We know that we need to keep, especially your content, interest, engaging, and relevant, because that is the way that we guarantee to keep moving up in the scale. I'm not guarantee you that you're gonna go viral overnight, but just keep moving up in the scale. But my friends, many people find value, connection, and positive experience through social media. It's not just about business. I have found long lost friends on social media. I have found back my one of my host families from Alaska through social media. And it was beautiful because I lost touch, I lost contact with these people. I belong to a group of my fellow exchange students from Alaska, 92, 93, on Facebook, and have now the chance to see each other's families, to know where we're at, to know what happened with our lives. So it could be of value. I have met all of you through social media. Cake Friends Stay Creative would not have been possible without Facebook. That's the truth. So it is positive if I wanted to make it positive. You can mitigate the risk of being, all the risk of social media if you are mindful of what you're doing online, you adjust your privacy settings, you stay informed about everything that happens in the platform, and you are planning, focusing, and organizing your content in a way that is going to be safe. It has been safe for me in all these years, can be safe for you as well. And it can be positive if you know your goal and if you know what do you want from social media. So I really hope these last two episodes are of help for you. I'm really happy to share all of this content with you. If you missed out the webinar last week, it is on the RK Coach group. You can watch it. I'm going to leave it there so you can watch it at any time. If you have any questions, just let me know on the comments. And this is the last episode of the month of November. I cannot believe it. November, it's over. November 2023. We are starting the final month, the month of December, and we're going to go next week with a very interesting episode on creative block. That could happen to all of us. I'm actually going through one right now. So I think, and I'm working on it, and I'm okay with it. So I think it will be fun to create an episode about that next week. And I really hope that you're here next week to listen to me and to keep being as supported and as nice and lovely fans that you are of the RK Coach podcast. Thank you so much, guys, for listening. Thank you so much for being here every Tuesday and every week. And I will leave you, as I always leave you, my sweet, sweet friends. Stay safe and stay creative. I will see you next week. Bye-bye. My sweet, sweet friend, if you liked this episode, if you love this podcast, I will kindly ask you to leave me a started review, whatever you're listening to this episode. That is available on Anchor, Spotify, Apple Podcast, and I think a couple of other ones. But in any of those, just leave me a review. Leave me a couple of stars or 5 stars if you like it. So people will find this episode, the algorithm will put it out there, and more of our K community will benefit from it. Share it with your friends. Download the episode and share them. Share them on your social media and tag me, because I will answer you back. Of course I will. And send me comments, send me your review, send me your feedback. Even if you don't agree with anything that I say, I would love to hear your opinion. You can find me in any of my social media accounts. I will be leaving the links here on this episode description. I'm on Facebook as The Art Cake Experience. I am on Instagram at Christina_The Art Cake Experience. Or you can even find me on YouTube, my YouTube channel, The Art Cake Experience channel. So thank you so much for listening. And please leave me your review and leave me your comments and your feedback. I would love to hear what you have to say about any of these episodes.